Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Black Tonio, here with another video for you guys this evening. Gotta get a video in before the day is out. It's been a long interesting day. Got some laundry done, got some workouts in, got some writing done on a few of my business pages and things like that. Running through emails, deleting things, the whole shebang. Just got out of the shower, so I'm on my last walk for the day, and then I'll be closing it in for the rest of the evening. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, just a few things, try to help you guys break some generational curses, to figure out all these different positive and negative energies that we have to deal with every day. That I am very aware that you guys are mostly concerned with, or it seems like the two most important things in the world are the currencies of love and money. 100 different parables, so many different metaphors and poetic things that can be said about love and money. You can have money. A man that has money don't have no time, or a man that has time has no money. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all 100 of the parables, but we all know what makes people attractive. When it's men, whether it comes to finances, or women, whether it comes from the way they look. Physicality and things like that. Men don't care about women's money. And ironically, sometimes, women are superficial, but a lot of them don't really care about men's looks. They try to do things like take a mechanic and turn him to a suit and tie wearer, or take a Pookie and Ray Ray from the corner and try to act like this is the type of guy that she needs to bring home to marry. Only concerned with, how many $100 bills he has on his pocket while he's hanging on that street corner. Never mind that this guy probably doesn't even know how to open up a bank account. People that's probably in his same age range that has bank accounts. And it could be either way. People do what they do. But the thing that I wanted to bring to you guys is that people perceive relationships in different ways. Again, your past, or the things that you have accomplished or went through, the stepping stones that we like to use, they definitely teach us, or they mold us, or they remind us of, the things that we like to take part in, and things that we don't like to take part in. I have a similar, I have an interesting story time. So I have an interesting, it's actually more light down this way. Let's see. We have the water, and my hair is still wet. I took the shower and it was so misty in the house that I had to come outside. So I'm just sitting in the house and I just would not stop sweating. That after shower moisture. Yeah. But just to really explain, again, this is going to be in regards to like love, relationships, parents, teaching their kids things, or even sometimes, not all lessons come from the parents. Some of the lessons come from the child as well. So one of the things I wanted to help you guys out with this evening, I didn't even want to make this video that long. It's already going past 4 minutes. I wanted this to be and that's my issue now. When I first started recording these, I'm going to go off on a tangent. When I first started recording these videos, I can barely make it past 5 minutes. Now it's like I have to do 20 minutes because that's just, I've been flexing that muscle so long that now I'm pretty sure I can do an hour-long video if I want to, but just based on repetition and being consistent, like I've been trying to practice what I preach. It's even proven in the Bible in different kinds of ways. A rich man can't get into heaven. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to You can't squeeze his riches through the eye of a needle. You can't buy your way into heaven. There's a reason why certain ascendant masters, not kings, certain spiritual leaders and masters, they understood that materialism, you can't control people, you have to master yourself. They give up everything. They give up love. They give up money. They give up, I don't want to say stability, but the structure of the society that they are living in at that time. Jesus did in his day. Buddha did in his day. Martin Luther King did in his day. Martin Luther King wasn't the president. He wasn't some super political leader or something like that. He was just a pastor. The son of a pastor at that. But yeah, so I mean, you learn from, and it's the same thing with teachers. Teachers in the American society over the past 30, 40, 50 years have always been paid crappy wages. I mean, these are the people that's teaching the leaders of the future, and they're getting paid. You have garbage men getting paid more than teachers. Like, there should be a pecking order. And I'm not even talking about the main topic I wanted to talk about yet. But that's just how it is. I mean, you don't have to, chastise or judge and say certain things like, my camera phone is crappy. My audio is crappy. I probably wear the same shirt every day. I know y'all tired of my Just Do It slides, which I'm wearing right now. But, at the end of the day, my bank account is looking right, and there's not too many people in the area that I'm living that actually owns a business. Not selling food out of their house. I'm talking about an actual legit business, have your articles of organization, has your EIN, your Dun and Bradstreet number, a well thought out business plan, and a history of, see, I can go on the good thing about Facebook on social media, Facebook will splash something in your face from 10, 11 years ago. This is what you wrote 10 years ago. So I have a proven track record of the type of person that I've been, not since high school, but since I was a little boy, since I would come out of my mom's womb. Going into my main topic, I want to try to make this as short as possible. I love my mom. I lived with my mom until I was 19 years old. One of my most favorite people in the world. But me and my mom has an interesting relationship. She's really the only person's whose number. Remember back in the 80s and 90s when there were no such thing as cell phones, and you had to remember everyone's number by heart. Now we have cell phones with 200 people's numbers who you don't even know in your phone. You just got them on Facebook. But yeah, really, my mom's cell phone number, which she's probably had for the past 10 years, is the only number I really remember. But we have an interesting relationship. Should I start from theme, or should I start from the middle, or should I start from the beginning? I'll just start from the beginning. Born to a mother in the slums of South Florida. My mom was young. My mom was 16 and what have you. My father was 19 at the age. I know my mom. I know they knew each other in high school. The story was that my father was a high school athlete. He was a star football player. Had his nickname Fast M. He was on the football team. Was a 200 pounder. One of the biggest nerds in school. Sort of like myself. People think I'm this gangster, but I'm really like this scientific guy. But the power of the devil, Lucifer, the devil can be as beautiful and intelligent as he wants to be at times, I guess, or it can be equally frightening and terrible. But yeah, my dad was a football nerd who played marbles on his free time. My mother has a younger brother who's probably 2 years younger than her. My father became friends with my mother's younger brother, and he was so shy that all the kids played tops back in the days and marbles. He gave my uncle a whole chest of marbles to tell my mother, to put him up on game, pretty much, to tell my mom, his older sister, that he had a crush on her. And they became a thing. My mom didn't have a problem with dating older men. You know, people will go crazy about it today. Yes, an 18-year-old can't even date a 17-year-old, while people will go crazy. Or this not of legal age. But my mom and my dad are 4 years apart. So with my mom giving birth to me at, 16, 17 years old, my father had to be like 19, 20 at the time. But, you know, there was history there. And this was like 34 years ago, 35 years ago. So, you know, times has changed. You know, my mother's family knew of my father. They knew that he wasn't a bad guy. They knew he was actually a well-rounded fellow that came from a decent family of an additional 10 brothers and sisters. Like, my father's side of the family they're very well versed, very well established. All the adults at this point in time have built a successful and a substantial amount of good karma and fortune. I even have a few DB Woodside. That's one of my relatives from the Woodside family tree. My last name's Williams, but that's a part of the Woodside family tree. You know, he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He played the principal. He played in the show Lucifer as Amenandio, the angel that could stop time. But yeah, I'm trying to finish up this story before I go into this store. But yeah, so I come from a very prestigious family. My father was in the military. He fought in the Nam War. Like, I'm not just this weirdo. I have too many thoughts and too many things that make up the type of person that I am. But, you know, back to the high school love story, you know, traded marbles. My uncle told my mother that, you know, my father had a crush on her. They became, you know, good friends, and they dated and all that, and, you know, played patty cake. That's how my daddy explained the sex story to me, not the birds and the bees. He said, me and your mother played patty cake, son. My dad stutters a lot. He has a speech impediment like Moses did. My father's actually a shofar right now. He is, you know, he's one of those guys that blows the big Jewish horn that's supposed to only be blown at the beginning and the end of the year. So he's come very far, and I'm very proud of him. Actually, the last conversation that I had with him was pretty funny. But yeah, they had me, and for whatever the reason was, they were not able to stay together. I have to do my math. If I was born at 16 and they broke up less than a year after that, she had to be 17 years old. You know, I'm not gonna take everything my father has with a grain of salt and believe everything that he says, but I lived with my mother forever. And the longest time I've ever been without speaking to my father was 2 years. So I have a whole lot of story there. It's not I was raised in a single mother household without a father. I don't know who my dad is. No, I'm very aware who my father is. In fact, the very first time I actually got in a substantial amount of trouble at 8 years old, I stole from a grocery store, and my dad was the one who was a correction officer, came and put his handcuffs on me. I never had to get spanking by my father. I'm a big advocate of fathers doing the discipline, because mothers get emotional and they beat their children half to death. But yeah, I've never had to get a spanking from my father, other than his wife. She got upset that my father spanked her kids from ruining their room, so she got upset and made him spank me, even though I had nothing to do with it. I'm like, are you serious? That's why women, they overcomplicate things. Men can't get nothing done with women in a way. In fact, every time I have an issue with my father, it's always because of either my mother or his wife, because they're so jealous that me and my father have a relationship. But you know, they broke up. My father says, you know, my mom was supposed to be home watching me. He got off early in the middle of my father worked the graveyard shift at 21 years old, getting off in the middle of the night, trying to surprise my mother, come home, and I'm crying by myself in the house by myself in the middle of the floor. So he threw a fit. But, you know, you can't tell her, what are you doing with my son? She didn't want to listen. So that's what my father basically told me. Your mother wanted to do what she wanted to do, and that was the end of that. A man that provided everything you could ever want. I mean, to this day, my father owns acres of land in Alabama and a house. This guy can pretty much do anything you want to do. But, you know, women don't want to listen, or my mom not listening. And, you know, that was the situation that she had to raise me in as a single mother, having to move from place to place every 6 months to a year. I mean, every time I saw my daddy gave me money. Every time I saw my daddy gave me a word of advice. You know, my mom did the best she can. She has the heart of gold, but she grew up, she had a very hard life. So, yeah, you had to deal with things like that. I had to deal with growing up with an angry angry black mother who could never match up, but you know, she would tell me that I need to step up. You know, ironically, I would date women that would tell me that I need to step up in certain situations where actually it was them that needed to step up. So these things affect you at an early age. You know, I had no problem with taking on most of the chores in the house. Clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom, take out the garbage, even clean my mom's room sometimes. Had no issue with that. You know, it teaches value. You know, I've always made sure I get good grades in school, although the teacher would make it seem like I had a problem. You know, I had a behavioral problem. I don't understand how you can match a behavioral problem with a kid that makes straight A's and B's, and in fact, the principal loves this young child, but he has self-control issues. Just another, you know, another one of those cases where drugs were planted into the black community in the 70s and 80s. All the fathers were locked up for either using or selling, and then the sons in the 80s and 90s were issued Ritalin and all types of ADHD medications to make them sit down. They're kids. They have testosterone. Why are you making kids sit down? You give them a freaking 30-minute park break? Man, come on now. That's not enough. But yeah, you know, time goes on. I became, you know, I've had to deal with a lot of things even before I was 10 years old. You know, my mom sold drugs, did hair, all in the same house on top of other things. You know, I remember birthdays and Christmases where the door was kicked in by the squads, you know. They come kick it in and they ramshack the whole house for no reason. I remember me and my friends sitting in the house. I opened up my Super Nintendo for Christmas. It's like 6-7 of us sitting in the room, and police just rush into the room shoving guns in all of our faces. We're just kids. So that I'm no stranger to that happening. That has happened more than once, more than 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. Like, these things happen and they can't be avoided. You know, when you live in these different societies and communities, how do you expect people to survive when you just have so much going on? But you know, fast forward, we had to leave Miami. We moved up to Broward County, so of course I had to say goodbye to what little friends I did have left, and moved up to Broward. Things were pretty good. Met some new friends. It was strange. It was strange a little bit, just getting used to things and seeing how she would try to get used to new things. Getting older and, you know, having these different situations where she would try to give me lectures about women. You know, my mom dropped some jewels. She said, son, the only thing these women care about is sex and money. Yeah, man, she gave me some pretty good advice. You know, it got to the point where I guess I got too smart or too big for my britches. She tried dating younger men and these younger dudes, even though I've always, you know, respect comes when respect is earned. I don't care if you're a baby or a 99-year-old person. I'm going to respect you when I see you deserve respect. You know, but I'm not going to have your boyfriend try to rush me to go take the garbage out from a 2-story building while it's raining. Like, we're not about to do that. And then after I have an argument with the dude, not even an argument, like, bro, you're not my father. If you want the garbage dumped so bad in the rain from an apartment building, you go do it. She would wake me up in the middle of the night and things like that, crying, telling me she don't want me to talk back to her, or she's doing the best that she can, even though I'm living with her and I'm watching her do the things that she shouldn't be doing to put us in these worse situations. But, you know, again, she has the heart of gold. She tried to do the best that she can to make sure that me and my sister live the best that we can. You know, ended up having surgery. You know, as far as the parenting goes, I don't know what she should have or could have done to prevent that. You know, falling under her jurisdiction or her care. But you know, I ended up being put in a life and death situation. Apparently I had been sick for years. No one that knew what was wrong with me, but I had an autoimmune disease that attacked my liver right before, actually my senior year. Instead of going to class on the first day, I went to the hospital. Spent about 2 to 3 months in the hospital getting dissected. Was fortunate enough to get on the donors list and get a liver before any billionaire could. You know, there's billionaires and millionaires and famous celebrities that die on these donors lists. But I was fortunate enough to get one in less than 2 weeks. So I don't know if God had his whole hand on my situation, but God had his whole hand on my situation. Told I should never have kids, told I should never go back to school, I shouldn't go outside, I should take these 20, 30 pills for the rest of my life. I wasn't really feeling that. I moved out of my mom's house when I was 20 when I realized I couldn't learn anything else from her, and I was just resenting her more and more for the way that she was displaying her. And this is even 15 years ago. So, you know, with my mom being 49, 50, she was her age. She was my age back then that I am now. So that's crazy to even think about. Like, I can't even work with you, or I have to avoid you, or I have to leave you. You would tell me I can just leave your house and then take whatever money I have with me when you can't even afford the bills. That's again with women and men and talking out the ass. Not even, I'm helping you pay most of the bills in this house with my surgery check, but you're gonna try to kick me out at night. So, you know, I left, of course. Had no problems, had no issues. Signed up for college, and you know, I was good to go. I remember high school, you know, I had a job, but, you know, since I had my surgery, I was always gifted or provided, you know, at least a little bit of money to help get by. I realized at some point that, you know, I didn't really, you know, letting the world put these labels on me or lead me to believe that I'm some type of handicapped person, because no doubt I was in a hospital with holes, slices, my body was opened up, I looked like freaking RoboCop, like Terminator after he lost all his skin, literally. Wires in my mouth, nose, in my neck, even in my piece, man, my freaking sack looked like a freaking watermelon. I don't even know how the heck does that even happen, bruh. But you know, I've been through a lot of interesting things in life. It helps you to become the person that you are meant to be. You know, I had to learn to walk all over again. They cut my core, the core of your body where all your strongest muscles, you know, help you hold yourself up. So I had to learn to walk all over again. Imagine a freaking 18-year-old trying to learn how to walk again. Not an 18-month-old or an 8-month-old or 8-week-old. This is an 18-year-old, I guess, grown man at this point trying to learn how to walk again. You know, going home with a bag of Skittles medication. I have to take 30 pills, 40, 50 pills a day. That's supposed to be helping me, but it's actually breaking my body down and making me feel worse. But every time I go to a checkup, or the doctors, or my mom, they would tell me to keep taking his medicine. Until I can no longer afford the medicine. And what are you going to do then? Like, am I supposed to take this medicine for the next 60 years? Like, am I even going to be alive for the next 60 years? How long does a liver transplant last, really? But, yeah, man, this has been a long story. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of things off my chest. So, to sum it up, when it comes to relationships, we all know men, you know, they want women that's going to remind them of their mother. Women, they want men that's going to remind them of their father. If you haven't heard my explanation on that, you might have to run through my older videos. I'll probably be making another new series of video once I get these first 200-300 videos knocked out. It'll be the old 300 and then the new 300, where, you know, I'm actually trying to set up an even better studio for you guys so I can do some more professional videos and more editing and things like that. But to sum it up, when a young man is raised by a mother, not to say this is my situation, that doubts them, that tells them that their intelligence is not worth nothing, to not have an opinion, that abuses them, that just, you know, you can never really rely on the opposite sex like that. These things are going to affect you in the future. So if you're used to taking abuse from, you know, aunts, or your mother, who you live, your immediate family member who lives in a house with you, you know, when you get older, to go out in the world, try to find a wife or to try to date, you know, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have reoccurring thoughts or old bad habits that you know, that pop back up, that remind you of certain things that you don't want to deal with. You know, and these could be tests or triggers. If you can move past them, you can probably develop very good relationships with people. You know, that's why you go to the gym. It hurts. to evolve. It hurts to get stronger. It hurts to get better. But when you move past that hurt, you get better. But you know, that's usually how it goes when it comes to like you know, relationships and how you grow up in your immediate family and how they influence the type of people you attract around you. You know, having an overbearing father for a young woman, you know, that's like having a father that's a pastor. When that young woman finally gets a chance to go out of the house at 14, 15, 16, it's gonna be hell in her pants. I just put it that way. And you know, if she hasn't gotten that love or that guidance or reassurance from the father figure that's supposed to be in her life, or hasn't been taught how to relate to men by her mother, by not just wearing freaking booty shorts and putting freaking weave in your hair, there's more to life than that. There's more ways to make these different, not even an educated guess, make an insightful decision. Like, stop guessing, stop gambling. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys today. I guess we hit a new high. This is probably going to be the longest video that I have shot since I started uploading videos to YouTube recently. But yeah, definitely watch how you're raising your kids. Watch how you're relating to your kids. Watch how you're relating to your significant other, the things you say, how you act around your significant other. Just think, how would you want people to treat you? How would you want people to act around you? You know, what things can you take and things that you can't take from, you know, certain people? There's more things I'm willing to take off my mother and father than there's things I'm willing to take off my brother and sister. You know, even though I only have a sister. But you know, these relationships come with a pecking order. There should be an ebb and flow. You know, don't let people dictate you or scar you. You know, when slaves, you know, when they got in trouble, they got whipped and they were scarred. Those scars never went away. Don't let people scar you for life. You know, don't deal with an overbearing mother. Don't deal with an overbearing father. Don't deal with overbearing friends or lovers. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the rant. I think the store is about to get ready to close, so let me go run in this store really quick and grab me a couple things, head back home, watch me a movie tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more videos. Hopefully you guys take it easy, and this video wasn't just me rambling a bunch of nonsense, jumping from one place to another, but that's just more insight into this steel trap I have up here. Man, it's running a million miles a minute, but I have to learn how to control these thoughts. You know, I'm getting older, becoming better. I thought I was better when I was younger. Now I'm getting older and I'm becoming better and more accurate. You know, it's not only about becoming stronger and faster. It's also about becoming more accurate. So yeah, that is going to be it for today or this evening, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, deuces.